to start recording on a different video, second one or third one. Okay, so I do this with all my classes. This is called the first day agreement. I know, you know, for some of you, this is kind of an insult. My apologies from the beginning. But I need to review these three special products before we do anything else, so we don't ever have to come back to them. So if you ask questions in the middle of the semester about this, will I not answer? No, of course I will answer. But I'm just hoping that from the very beginning, you'll take a note of this, you'll refresh your memory on it, and then we don't have to worry about this again. Okay, so today is the 30th. Okay, so we have the a plus b, everything squared, and then we're going to talk in a minute about a plus b, a minus b, and then a plus b, a minus b. It's okay if you say I don't remember these, that's fine, but I'm hoping that from September 1st no one will say that. Anyone would like to help with this? Anyone would like to say anything about any of those?
First one, a squared plus ab plus b squared.
Say it again, Iris. By the way, don't be afraid to be wrong. I'm sure you will find that I make mistakes and you will correct me. So if you want to say it again so I can write it.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, is it a squared plus ab plus b squared?
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. So when we multiply or expand a plus b squared, this is what we have initially, correct? So a plus b squared means a plus b times a plus b. Agreed? If the color is not good, if you can't see, if it's blurry or anything, please stop me, okay? So obviously when we FOIL this, then we will get a squared. Then I will have plus ab. But there is another ab here. Okay, now I distribute b. So this is another ab, and then there is b squared. So these, when I combine them, I get twice ab. Agreed, everyone? So then the answer is a squared plus 2ab and plus b squared. And this is crucial to remember. There are two identical terms. When we combine them, we get twice. Can anyone figure out the second one? Thank you, Iris. Can anyone figure out the second one?
Second one's going to be similar but slightly different. It's going to be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared.
Thank you, Brian. Very good. That's the only difference. So if I have a plus here, I have plus here. Notice that we don't never talk about the last term. This is always positive. So if I have minus here, I have to have minus here. Okay, I'll come back to this one. So these are so-called special products. Special products. Okay, so why I'm interested in working with these special products or formulas and not have 2x plus 3y squared, putting it side by side and foiling it. No, I would like us to finish up with this. Just, you know, if we still have to do this, then calculus becomes difficult. Okay, so I already know that this has to be the first term squared. So this is 4x squared plus. I already know I have to multiply these two terms and then by 2. 2x times 3y is 6xy times 2 is 12. And then plus the second term squared, which is 9y squared. So a lot of my students say, calculus? Easy, piece of cake. Algebra? Very hard. It's not possible. Because without algebra, we can't understand the topics in calculus. So can anyone give us another example? let's say with minus squared, and give us the form. Now, is this clear? So one more time, let me write it like this. As the first term, ft, first term, second term, is the first term squared plus twice times the first term times the second term plus the second term squared. This is all you have to remember. First term squared plus twice the product plus the second term squared. And of course, if this is minus, then this will be minus. So can anyone quickly give us an example with a minus, and also give us this, the expanded form without having to FOIL? We want to move away from foiling.
X minus 3.
Good. So let's spice it up a little bit. Let's say x squared minus 2y. So I know that the middle term will be negative. I know the last term will be positive. I have to square the first one. What do I get?
X to the 4th.
Very good. I have to square the last one. What do I get?
4y squared.
Good. So now I have to multiply these two and then by 2. When I multiply these two, what do I get?
2.
X squared y. And multiplied by 2?
4x squared y.
That's it. That's how the formula or the special product works. Special product works. Okay, coming back to this one, which is called the difference of squares. So anyone remembers what a plus b times a minus b equals to?
It would be b squared.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's why the name. Extremely important. Extremely important. So we're going to use this a lot. Let's say the square root of x plus 2 minus 3. And what will be the next one if I want to use the special product called difference of squares?
It would be the square of x plus 2 plus 3.
Excellent. Who was that? Who was that? It was Christine?
Oh, no, it's Caitlin.
Caitlin, thank you. Okay, very good. So I have to square this. What do I get when I square this?
X
plus 2.
What do I get when I square this?
1.
So it's x minus 7. So I square this, and I square this, and I make sure that I put minus in between. It has to be minus, because the negative 3 times positive 3 will become negative. We're going to use this a lot in this class. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about in this first day agreement. And I said it's valid forever. I just want to put a smile on your faces and say, oh, okay, just for her, I'm going to remember this. Any questions so far? Okay, so now here, please look at this document. If you just printed it out, or if you saved it, and tell me what you need. I emailed it to you also, and it's posted under modules. Anyone? Does anyone want to pick anything?
Question 1, letter A.
A?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question 1.
So any fraction to a negative exponent flips the fraction to the positive exponent. I meant b over a, of course. To the positive exponent. So that 2/3 to negative 2 becomes 3/2 to the second power. And when I square a fraction, I square the top, I square the denominator. Anything else from anything else? You choose.
Could you go for number 8?
Which one? Number 8? This one?
Yeah.
Very good. So these are the trig equations. Any particular one? A, B, C? Which one would you like to start with?
B.
B. Okay, very good. So we have 2 cosine squared x minus cosine x minus 1 equals 0. Perfect. Okay. So obviously this is a trigonometric equation. And my first step, my first thought is, I hope I can factor it. Two things in math I would like you to move, when we move forward from starting from today, in other words, I would like you to remember 2 key words. Factor is one key word, and the other one is simplify. Sometimes they go together, sometimes I can only simplify and I cannot factor, sometimes I can do both, sometimes I can factor. And that will indirectly simplify the problem. But first, my first thought is, when I look at this equation, I see 0 on one side, I'm really hoping that I can factor it. Can I? Will anyone would like to try?
Could you subtract the 1 to the other side and then factor out the cosine x?
Okay, so it's extremely important. Let me change my camera for a second. It's extremely important to me to hear your thoughts, because only when I hear your thoughts, good or on the right track or not, I can correct them, right? So I don't know everyone's background in math up until this point. I will have an idea in the next 2 or 3 weeks where everyone is. But especially now, on the first day of classes, I have no idea where everyone's background is, right? What you know and what you remember and what you don't. So please speak up, even if you're wrong. Okay? Please. Thank you, Caitlin. So I'm going to switch back. I wish I could have another camera so you can see me at all times, because it's easier for you. But the problem is that if I open another device, I get on another device as a student, it will interfere, the sound will be horrible. So that's why I can't do it, because I really would like you to see me while I am not hiding or anything. But it's the only setup that I could come up with. If one of your professors has a different setup and better setup than this one, please teach me, because they may do something I don't know or I haven't heard of yet. So please help me with that, because I'm helping you. So this is a quadratic equation, right? Why is it quadratic? Because it has whatever squared minus whatever minus 1. I can, if I wanted to, say let cosine x be y, and then the equation becomes 2y squared minus y minus 1 equals 0. Correct? So that's how I know it's quadratic. Why? Because this polynomial has degree what? 2. Exactly. So since the polynomial has degree 2, this is a quadratic equation, which has 2 solutions. Now, of course, it can have more, because cosine is a periodic function. It can have infinitely many solutions, but that's a different story. But if a normal quadratic equation can have 2 solutions, they can be the same, they can be real or imaginary, but 2 solutions. Okay. So if I were to move 1 to the other side, I will not ever get anywhere. So it's always okay, and I strongly encourage you to tell me whatever goes to your minds so I can correct it. So this will not work. It will work for a linear equation. If I have a linear equation, let's say 2x plus 4 equals 0, absolutely. That is the only way, and then I divide by 2 and I get x equals -2. But when the equation is quadratic, this will not help. This will not work. The method of solving a quadratic equation, there are several methods, but I'm going to just go back to look at, we can graph, we can so on and so forth. But it's either factor or quadratic formula. So we don't have this option. You can say, well, but what if, so as I said, there is more here. But what if I have something like this? Ah, that's a different story. In this case, I can. And then I apply a different method, which is here, if you want, taking square roots. But it has to be like this. In this case, I cannot. I have an x squared term, but I also have an x term. So this will not work. Here it will. And I would have x equals plus or minus 2i. But in such a situation, moving 1 to the other side will not help. So I can use factoring or quadratic formula. There is taking square roots, and also I can graph and solve by graphing, but it's not the case here. We're not going to do that. Or I can complete the square and then take the square roots. That's way too long. There is no need to do that. So how do we factor this? Or if you'd like, you can say, let's do the quadratic formula. That's fine too.
Factor.
Good. Yes, I completely agree. So if we are looking at the simple one, I can show you a different procedure for this. What I like to call the long procedure, or we can use the guessing method, which I personally don't prefer, but I know is taught widely, high school and other places. So if you want to give me the answer, or I can show you my steps.
Cosine x minus 2 times cosine x plus 1.
Okay, let me write it. So you said 2 cosine x minus 2.
Yes.
Okay, and the other one?
Cosine x plus 1.
Good. So first of all, I know that this cannot work because the -2 times +1 is not -1. So this cannot work. And also this has a common factor of 2, and these 3 terms don't have a common factor of 2.
Can I pull the 2 out?
From here?
No, from the original. So change it to 2 times the y squared minus half y minus half.
And where do I get?
I mean, now can we factor the y squared minus half y? No, we can't.
But what happens here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show you not the guessing method, but the long method that will make sense, I think. And you'll let me know. So let me